A common question we're being asked at the moment from our landlords is what will notice periods be in certain circumstances for tenants and landlords themselves?
Okay, so the easy one is the tenants. That's been extended from 1 month's notice to 2 months. So they can give the landlord 2 months' notice if they wish to vacate the property.
Okay. Some other scenarios, for example, if a landlord would like to sell their property.
If the landlord wants to sell his property, he has to give the tenants 4 months' notice of that intention, but he can't serve it in the first 12 months of the tenancy agreement.
Okay. Also, what about landlords looking to move back into their property or looking to move a relative into the property?
Again, it's a 4-month notice period. Landlords probably need to be a bit mindful that if it goes through to a possession hearing, then they will have to show to the court that that's a genuine reason and somebody is actually going to move back into the property.
Of course. And lastly, regarding tenant rent arrears, what are the notice periods there?
Okay, so most common ground for rent arrears is the mandatory ground 8. Currently, tenants have to be 2 months in arrears and the landlord can serve 2 weeks notice before issuing proceedings. That's now been changed both in terms of the level of arrears, so a tenant has to be 3 months in arrears and the landlord has to give them 4 weeks notice before issuing proceedings in court. A bit of a caveat on that one is that the tenant has to be 3 or more months in arrears, both at the time the notice is served and at the time of the hearing. Mm-hmm. So if there's any payments that have brought that down, that ground would fail.
That's applicable now, though, isn't it, with current?
Is, yeah. Yes, it is. Yeah. Hence the reason when I serve notices for rent arrears, I always include the discretionary grounds. Mm-hmm. That's ground 10, that there's some rent arrears, mm-hmm. and ground 11, that the tenant has been persistently late in making the rent payments. Mm. Again, that's 4 weeks notice for that notice.
Perfect.
Okay. I just have one question. Just to add, is we need to educate all the tenants as well that are on the AST at the moment, that where they've got 1 month's notice. This is going to be applicable to them as well, isn't it? When the bill is passed, this could be all of those ones that could be reading their contracts. Is give 1 month's notice, but it will be they'll all have to give 2 months' notice to all the existing tenants.
Yeah, the Renters' Right Act will change some of the terms already in agreements, and it's important that both landlords and tenants realise that this will kind of override those tenancy agreements at the moment.
Yeah, and we'll be giving out future correspondence to all of our tenants about this and changes, and of course landlords as well. Hence the reason why we're doing this video. So.
But I think that's really important that when the law does change, because at the moment we're not 100% certain when this legislation will come in. We have a good idea, but it's not certain. So I think when it does change, all agents should be writing to the tenants, highlighting the fundamental changes. Yeah. I mean, obviously you can't go through all of them, but most tenants want to know notice, when their rent's due, how long they're going to be there, if they're allowed a pet. I think those are the key questions that tenants are asking at the moment.
Yeah, so question and answers for both parties, really. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, good idea.